So there was a podcast that came out just over a month ago about the 4 work styles of INFPs. This is over at the Personality Hacker podcast, which I've never listened to, but I should probably listen to a little bit more because it was really great. Somebody left me a note in my comments telling me to check it out, so thank you for that. I'll leave a link to the full podcast in my description. But basically the gist of this podcast was talking about the 4 different work styles of INFPs, but it was based on research done by Dario Nardi, who's that guy who, puts brain scanning equipment on different personality types' heads and scans their brains and picks up interesting patterns. And I love that stuff personally. I think a lot of people will be very skeptical of it. I don't know. I think it's really fun just to get that kind of data and then make of it what you will, right? And the 4 work styles of INFPs, according to this podcast, were the dominant INFP. That's one flavoring of INFP. Then there's the creative INFP. Then there's the normalizing INFP. And then there's the harmonizing INFP. So they go into what these 4 different INFP types look like. And I loved it. And unfortunately or fortunately, I was the creative. Very clearly, I was the creative one. It was very much like a 4-wing 5 INFP was the creative type. And then the dominant to me sounded like a 4-wing 3. It was a very independent, identity-focused INFP who's a bit more willing to get stuff done, And then the creative type, it said that they're more suited to being a writer or a filmmaker or a documentary maker or just some sort of creative thing. All the stuff that I naturally did my whole life. I was always making little documentaries, short films, animations, cartoons, songwriting. That's just the stuff I have to do to stay sane. So I'm very obviously that type. And then, of course, the normalizing INFP you might think of more as one of the Enneagram 6 type INFPs, I think. Maybe an INFP that leans a little bit more into their introverted sensing, or an INFP that's just a little bit more about perhaps just trying to do the right thing. Maybe they're more caring about other people more than themselves. That sometimes I get that impression from Enneagram 6 INFPs, that they're just better people, maybe. I don't know. And then the 4th or the last one was the harmonizing subtype, the harmonizing work style of the INFP, who are the type of INFP that you can imagine going into counseling and helping people and being a bit, being the mediator type INFP. Because a lot of INFPs are not mediators really, but some are. And I think a lot of them are Enneagram 9 INFPs. You can imagine the Enneagram 9s being more harmonizing. So it was interesting that these are the 4 work styles that Dario Nardi picked up on when he was doing brain scans of all these different INFPs. And I guess he was doing his usual role playing, and perhaps he was getting people, INFPs that were from different types of careers, and scanning their brains. It's pretty crazy, isn't it? Very mad scientist-y. So first of all, how do I feel about being a creative INFP? I feel fine. That's who I am. That's how I operate. Sometimes I've been overseas even. Like a lot of people all around the world, one thing that I do get when I get feedback on who I am from, I don't know, maybe I might be talking to an INFJ in Vilnius, because you've just turned up in the city of Vilnius in Lithuania. And I got this wonderful Airbnb that I could stay in for a day at least, so that I could explore Vilnius. And it was look at how great this Airbnb was. It cost me about $50 American for the night. I'm so happy in this little video I'm showing you right now. Anyway, the girl who let me in, this 22-year-old Lithuanian girl, she showed me around, and I was just happy when she was showing me where I'm going to be staying. And then when I went to leave my luggage with her the next day, and I think she just wanted to chat, and she said she didn't even work there. She was just a friend of the girl who worked there, and she was doing a favor. And she told me she doesn't want to offend me, but I seem quite artistic. Like I have an artistic vibe, which is actually music to my ears, because I don't know if other 4W5 INFPs feel this way, but my fear, I guess that's the fear of the INFP. I've heard that about Enneagram 4W5s. Their greatest fear is to be seen as not unique, to seem normal. If somebody told me I look like a normal person, it would have been so offensive. But she said, you look artistic, which is, of course, wonderful. Because I'm walking around, I didn't think I looked artistic. I wasn't dressing artistic. I don't dress very bohemian. I was dressing very normal. So I was very happy to hear that I came across as artistic. The more I analyze myself, I am starting to realize that I have this. I think, yeah, like real 4W5 type artists have a bit of a vibe that I've got because I've got other 4W5 INFP friends, and there's a bit of a fidgetiness, a strange flowiness to and the way you talk, and I don't know how to explain it. So anyway, the point of this video though is nothing that I've just been talking about at all. What I wanted to say was in that personality hacker podcast, the guy in it starts mocking one of the career choices they have laid out for INFPs, because one of the career choices, apart from writer and psychologist and all the usual INFP career choices, they also had librarian listed. And this year, I haven't told you this, but after years of unemployment and sadness, I've decided to go back to university, or technical university, and I'm studying to become a librarian or a library technician. So often when I'm making these videos for YouTube, I'm actually running off to class. That's what's been happening in the last few months. And I'm studying library stuff, just different units about how to be a librarian, constant assignments. I got another one due today. I had one due yesterday. But anyway, all these years later, I've been given an opportunity, I think, where I can just financially make it through for the year. And my university is only a 20-minute walk away. So obviously I'm late every day into class. But there's an INFP. He's from Taiwan. Early on, I could tell he's an INFP. And I actually asked him after a month to do the 16 personality types test, and he got INFP. And then I made him do the Enneagram test, and he got 4-wing-5. But like, I don't need to make him do these tests. He's on the first day when I was talking with him, he started. I said something about facing reality, and he said, "What is reality?" Which is a very, if someone's going to say, "What is reality?" It's a very INFP thing to say. Anyway, what was the point of this YouTube video again? Let me know in the comments what the point of my YouTube video was again, because I've completely forgot why I pressed record in the first place. So yeah, let me know in the comments what this video was about, if you got anything out of it, and yeah, let me know what work type, what work style of INFP you are, and if you think there is a link to Enneagram. And do you think should I be studying to be a librarian, or am I fooling myself? Should a 4W5 like myself never work? Should I never have any career goals because I would be betraying my 4W5 bohemian INFP flavor? Like, I have an INFP 4W5 friend called David, and he said he actually enrolled to be a librarian many years ago. And I asked him what happened, and he said he just never turned up to any of the classes. And then eventually they asked him if he wanted an extension, and he told them, I'm not coming in. I'll never come in to your course. And eventually they kicked him out, and he said, good. Now that is a proper INFP 4-wing-5. David is a proper INFP 4-wing-5. He is a proper bohemian. He enrolls in a library course, doesn't turn up to any classes, and stands his ground and stays true to himself. And now he's an art technician and working 3 days a week. And I shouldn't give all that information out about David. Yeah, so let me know in the comments if I'm betraying my INFP 4-wing-5 values by doing something slightly career focused, by studying to be a librarian or library technician. See you next time.